My mother died of ALS on the 19th of September 2008, and she was diagnosed on the 10th of May 2000, so that's more than 8 years with ALS. She was the smartest person I've ever met when it comes to human problems, dealing with people and figuring out solutions. She should have got a Nobel Prize. She was just brilliant at that. No good at mechanical things, but really good at everything else. The most generous, giving, creative, clever, family-oriented, inclusive, goddamn beautiful human being I've ever had the pleasure to meet, and I'm related to her. How lucky is that? I remember a story she told me, maybe my favorite one. There's somebody to choose from. I called her one afternoon, and how are you? Good. She said, I might be more clever than I think. Adelina Gariano had dropped off, a friend of hers, ours, had dropped off some wonderful soup. Adelina makes great soup. And my mother said she's looking forward to having it for lunch all day. And when it came time for lunch, then she discovered that her worker hadn't left out a spoon. Sometimes that happened. And so, really disappointed. You can't eat soup with a fork, and she can't lift the bowl. Not possible. She's confined to a walker at this point. She could push herself around in her apartment very slowly, but she has no real strength. But anyway, disappointed about the soup, she told me she managed to wrestle the fridge open and pull out a half a loaf of bread, and there was a twist tie on it. She managed to get that off with her teeth, and then wrestle out a single piece of bread from the bag, and she tore it into little pieces, put it in the soup bowl, and ate the soup with a fork. That's up there in the sky somewhere. She said a lot of clever things. One of my favorites, you have to achieve a certain level of maturity in your life to realize it's not the mistakes you make that matter, it's what you do about them. Because nobody's perfect. So this is the most you can offer someone, and the least you should expect from them is to fix your mistakes. One year for my birthday, I love this one too, she was president of Ottawa English Catholic Teachers Association for 10 years. No arbitration, no mediation, and no strikes. That's unheard of as a union representative. That means nobody came to solve a problem that she was given. Always got a solution, always, that everyone was happy with in the end, happy enough to settle on. So for my birthday one year, she gave me what has to be a bottle of wine, wrapped in paper with alligators on the outside, and in a card. And she said this gift was given to her when she took on the job of OECTA president, and it was given to her by the outgoing president. And the card that she gave to me, she wrote the same message as was given to her when she took the job. Good luck. It's a tough job. Just remember, when you're up to your ass in alligators, your original objective is to drain the swamp. And then she added in my card, be just, speak the truth, keep your perspective. So, brilliant, wonderful woman. Now, I have a cautionary tale for anyone who knows someone who has ALS. The one thing my mother was afraid of was a horrible, strangling death. Can't breathe anymore. It's just too horrific to contemplate. But that was her number one fear. Now, she decided not to have assisted breathing. No CPAP machine, no tracheostomy, no feeding tube, nothing. She's just going to, as it happens, this is what will unfold. And I'm an engineer, so anyway, that figures in this story. Now, in the end, she did not have a feeding tube, but I found her in her apartment after she had died, and she had choked to death on a bottle of Ensure that I bought for her, because her appetite was going down, so we have to find a way of getting calories in. But it never occurred to me that she wouldn't be able to swallow it. And the reason for having a feeding tube is so you don't choke to death. She should have had someone with her. We should have thought this out. We did think it out, didn't action it. I didn't action it. So I do blame myself for that. I don't blame herself for getting her the Ensure, but I blame myself for that. So be aware that their reason for a stomach, a feeding tube, is so that you don't choke to death. So just keep that in mind. So, Mom, if I could have taken it on to myself, as I told you, I would. Like that. But I know that would have hurt you more. So, but I can do this. It's not Dave Brown. I challenge everybody to give $5 to make this go away.